So Kuro have finally revealed Cantarella's signature weapon along with the full information of the stats that it provides. So in today's video, we'll be diving a bit deeper into the pull value of this weapon by analyzing how easily it synergizes with Cantarella to give you guys an idea of what you should expect, its synergy with other characters from a free-to-play perspective, other weapon options available for Cantarella, and finally my recommendation if you should pull for this weapon or not, based on several situations. Before we proceed any further, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, because it helps me out more than you know. Without further ado, let's get into it. From the stats, she's rocking a high crit damage of 72%, which is why the base attack is 500 instead of 587 compared to other crit damage signature weapons like the Verdant Summit. But the low base attack shouldn't be a problem, because Cantarella's role in your team building, according to the information provided by Kuro Games, is not focused on a main damage dealer role, but rather as a support and buffer to increase your entire team's overall DPS. So having a low base attack weapon doesn't hurt that much when you're running it on Cantarella. The passive is where things get a little bit more interesting. The first part provides 12% attack, which is nothing special, but the second part will grant you a stack of Gentle Dream when you cast an Echo skill, after casting an intro skill or doing basic attacks lasting for 10 seconds. However, if you switch to another character, Cantarella will lose all stacks of Gentle Dreams. This means that she'll be doing a decent portion of her damage while she's on the field after an intro skill or doing basic attacks, which increases her synergy with Jinxie since she can provide a free intro skill for Cantarella in the first rotation, especially when using Verena. From her kit information provided by Kuro Games, her abilities considered as Echo skills includes her Flickering Reverie skill, which becomes available when you enter the Mirage state, so basically it's an extra skill that you can use when she's in a special state provided by her Forte. The second ability considered as an Echo skill is the Forte skill called Perception Drain, and lastly activating her Liberation is also considered as an Echo skill, so you don't need to even use your original Echo skill, which is great because it makes your rotations simple and you can use them to end your rotation instead, since Lorelei from Midnight Vale and Impermanence Heron from Moonlit have long casting animations, which you can easily swap out of. Now let's get into what the Gentle Dream stacks actually provide. The first stack of Gentle Dream will grant you 40% basic attack damage bonus, which is good for the Perception Drain Forte skill and her coordinated attacks since they scale off basic attack damage. The second stack will ignore 12% of the target's Havoc resistance, and this buff will most likely be for just Cantarella to increase her own personal damage because there's no additional information on whether it applies to your teammates as well. Now that her synergy with the weapon is out of the way, let's dive a bit deeper into this weapon's synergy with other characters that you might have on your account. Due to the nature of the means through which you can gain the Gentle Dream stacks, any character except Cantarella that uses this weapon will only benefit from the first stack of Gentle Dream, and the characters that fit this description includes Phoebe and Encore, due to Encore always throwing hands when her Liberation is active, and Phoebe's Chamuel style basic attacks when she's in her Ring of Mirrors. But other than these two characters, the weapon can only be used as a stat stick. Also keep in mind that you need to preserve your Echo skills on these characters when using this weapon on them, so that you can use it after an intro skill to do damage. This will not be an issue for Phoebe since Nightmare Morning Aches is a summoning type Echo skill, but for Encore, keep in mind that you can dash cancel your Echo skills to save you some time. If you can't afford to pull for this weapon, you're in luck because her weapon alternatives are actually looking pretty good. The first one that I recommend and should take higher priority is Jeji's signature weapon. You can easily gain the 24% basic attack damage bonus from the passive using Graceful Step, which is the normal skill by the way, and Flickering Reverie, which is the extra skill that becomes available to you when you go into her Mirage Forte state. But getting the third stack with the Perception Drain Forte skill will be difficult because it is considered as Echo skill cast, not Resonance skill cast, so keep that in mind. The reason that this weapon should take higher priority is because of the crit damage substat, which will synergize well with her if she has crit rate on her skill tree. This is highly possible since it's a common trend with the characters that we have in the game. If they have a crit damage stat on their weapon, their skill tree will most likely have the opposite crit stat on them. The next one on the list is the almighty String Master. Cantarella can make use of the second passive passive, which provides 24% attack buff due to graceful step and flickering revelry, which will most likely be considered as resonance skill damage since it wasn't specified, lasting for 5 seconds. But don't let the third passive fool you, because she could not benefit from it. What the third passive of String Master actually does is provide 48% attack buff to the wielder when they are off field if they damage the enemy with an attack that is considered as resonance skill damage, which is exactly what Yinlin does from her coordinated attacks. But since Cantarella's coordinated attacks are considered basic attack damage, she will not gain any benefits when she's off the field. The next weapon that I recommend is Cosmic Ripples. The passive is straightforward, which gives Cantarella 16% basic attack damage bonus at rank 1 by just doing basic attack damage to the enemy, which you can easily do from her Phantom Sting basic attacks when she's in the Mirage state, lasting for 8 seconds. Aside from that, you can use Augment from the Battle Pass, and your free-to-play option is the Fusion Accretion, which can be obtained from the special supply chest that we got from the To The Short's End event if you haven't used it already. Now here are my recommendations for pulling or not pulling this weapon. If you're free to play, I strongly suggest that you hold on to your Astrides, because Cantarella's main focus role is not a main damage dealer, but rather to rely on her supportive and buffing capabilities. For characters like Jinsei, Havoc damage dealers like Havoc Rover, and any damage dealer that skills of resonance skill damage, since she's concerto efficient from the information provided by Kuro Games, and your main damage dealers should rather have a heavy investment, so getting Cantarella is good enough from a free-to-play perspective. Another issue that I'm having with this weapon from a damage perspective is that Cantarella's coordinated attacks provided by her Liberation will not be able to make use of the 40% basic attack damage bonus from the first stack and the Havoc resistance shred from the second stack while Cantarella is off the field. When you switch out to another character, Cantarella will lose all the stacks of Gentle Dream. This becomes a problem in case you're not able to do damage with Cantarella while she's on the field for any reason, like getting interrupted while casting Perception Drain for example. So in case Perception Drain, which is considered basic attack damage, is not able to hit the enemy for any reason, you will lose majority of her personal damage. But since the abilities from her forte can apply Hazy Dream, which can slow down enemies, it could mitigate this problem to a certain degree. But I'll have to do testing with Cantarella to see if this will not really be a main issue. So look forward to her dedicated guide video very soon. However, if you don't mind getting her weapon as a dolphin or a whale, it can provide a decent damage increase to your overall DPS for faster clear times, and it also gives you more variety in terms of synergy with new rectifier units that gets introduced to the character roster in the future in case you cannot pull for their signature weapon by then. And finally, the weapon looks really good on her from a drip perspective, so by all means feel free to pull for it if you fancy Cantarella's design and you want a complete package to make her look really good. That's all for my weapon pull value analysis for Cantarella. Hope this video provided value to you, and if it did, leave a like and subscribe to support the channel because it's free and you can always change your mind. Be sure to also join our Discord community if you're having any issues with the game or you just want a place to chill or hang out. Link will be in the video description. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.